The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, hello again, everybody, and good morning, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 18 of Missouri Milestones, the podcast. Guy Newcomb alongside Kent Mueller. This is September the 18th, 2025. We encourage everybody, hey, go to our Facebook page and give us a like. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and you'll know when all of these come out. Sign up to follow us at playing_sports, at Scoreboard Guy, and at Missouri Sports Network. Again, you're watching the Missouri Sports Network presented by Liuna Labor's Local 663, Building Missouri, and reminding us to take that 3 seconds reminding us to pay attention in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. A lot of work zones going across here in Southwest Missouri. Hey, just be careful out there. And again, as I mentioned, this is Season 1, Episode 18 here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. As we started 4.5 months ago with this podcast here on the Missouri Milestones, we've added numbers of young ladies and young men to the list. We've added numbers of folks our age to the list. So certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We'll turn it over now to Kent Mueller.
Yes, we started Missouri Milestones with 1,000-point career scoring list for both boys and girls. We now have over 1,500 boys and over 1,200 girls. It won't be long before we have combined lists totaling more than 3,000 Missouri athletes. Those lists will continue to grow as we dig out more and more of Missouri high school history, and also as we record and recognize those who will cross that threshold each season going forward. This project is one that will never end. Due to the strong response for the basketball career stats, we have expanded to include 3 stats for football and 5 stats for volleyball, both boys and girls. For football, the thresholds are 4,000 passing yards, 2,000 rushing yards, and 2,000 receiving yards. For volleyball, the thresholds are 1,000 career kills, assists, or digs, and also 200 total blocks and 100 service aces. And it will be fun to not only note athletes who achieve inclusion on more than one statistic in their sport, but also those who achieve inclusion in more than one sport. We know some of those athletes, and we will find more. Some of you are wondering just where you can see these lists and how you can contribute. The easiest way to see the list as they get updated is to follow us on X. Follow Guy Newcomb at Scoreboard Guy, and follow me, Kent Mueller, at plain_sports. By following us, you will get updated lists as they become available. And when you see those lists, 2 of the things that can happen include you seeing a correction that needs to be made. I had one just this week that a gentleman sent to me, and of course I happily made that correction. I'd rather have correct information than just more numbers. So we want these accurate. So if we've made a mistake, please let me know. But also you could have information on athletes that you could send to us so that we can add new to the list. All you have to do is email all of that to me at plainonsports@gmail.com. That's plainonsports@gmail.com. Now that you are following us on X and you know how to contact us, let's get to the Missouri Milestone Interview of the Week. In today's interview, Guy Newcomb caught up with Tomas Brock. Tomas is a 2007 graduate of Mount Vernon High School. He graduated that year, but not before he laid 2,234 points on his opponents. And that puts him at 77 on our Missouri Milestones list of Missouri boys basketball career scoring. You don't want to miss that interview. Guy will be back with Tomas Brock right after these words from our sponsor. Please don't miss it.
Any given Saturday, and a little work. And a little play.
Hey, little help?
And a truck that says no to nothing.
Hi, Dad. Can we give them a ride?
Yeah.
The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Leaders know there's no guide to greatness. When everyone else says something can't be done, they know it only hasn't been done yet. True leaders weather the fiercest storms and look deep within themselves to rise above and help others find their way forward. At Great Southern Bank, we're proud to partner with visionaries that help raise the tide for all of us. And when you're ready to bring your vision to life, we'll be right behind you with award-winning support.
Hello there, my name is Kyle Fisher, head basketball coach and principal at Harrisburg High School and member of the Missouri Milestones list presented by Playing on Sports and the Missouri Sports Network. Be sure to give them a follow on X at SportsGuy and at Playing_Sports and Missouri Sports Network. This has been the most complete list of Missouri high school athletes and accomplishments anywhere. Weekly interviews, stats, and scores updated almost daily. Give them a chance to earn your fandom. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevy.
Hey, welcome back to Missouri Milestone Mondays here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Continuing on with our segment, Missouri Milestones, we welcome in 2007 Mount Vernon graduate Coach Tomas Brock. Coach Brock, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Before we get started, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. Obviously, you're in recruiting mode maybe, but where you're at and how you got there.
Yeah, so just finished up my 10th season now at Columbia College, 4 as the assistant and then 6 seasons now as a head coach. So, you know how time flies at Columbia's kind of become home for us, and you know, great school here, great town to live in. Really enjoying what we're doing here.
Outstanding. Coach and I have got a connection. I actually played high school basketball for Coach Brock's father, Skip Brock, and still maintain a connection with him every now and then. And he comes often. He'll come into Bolivar, which is where I live, when the other Coach Brock is coaching here in town versus SBU. But so our contact goes back a long time to you and your brother playing basketball on the stage when we were practicing back in 1988, 89. Tell us a little bit about your memories of your high school career.
Well, I've got nothing but fond memories. Obviously, you know, played 4 years at Mount Vernon for my dad. And that was really special to get to play for your dad. And, you know, we had some good teams, you know, during that stretch, which was fun. You know, got to go to the Final Four my junior year, you know, won a couple district and conference championships. And, you know, probably outside of just the opportunity to play for my dad, the other thing that always stands out about my time at Mount Vernon, you know, on the court and even on the football field is just the guys I got to play with and the relationships that, you know, was able to form there. And, you know, still have great relationships with several of those guys now, even though we're into our 30s now, but, you know, really a special place and a really fun 4 years for me.
2,234 points puts you close to the top, you know, in points scored. Do you remember that first time, maybe that first bucket, you know, probably as a freshman, that you remember that?
I don't know if I remember the exact bucket, but I do remember my first game as a freshman. We were at the Stratford tournament, and you know, so it came in at Stratford, and you know, it was one of those things where, you know, a smaller school, class 3A, I was, fortunate to get my feet wet right away. I had was able to start every game of my career right from day one, and we were a young team my freshman year, and had a little bit of a success, but kind of was able to start with a younger core, and then that led into sophomore, junior, senior years where we had three really good years. So.
Talk about some of those guys that you played with, and even some guys maybe that you played against that you maybe still have contact with.
Yeah, so guys that I played with that at Mount Vernon, and my dad had a ton of success. Not just the 4 years that I played. Obviously, had a couple great stretches at Mount Vernon, but some of the guys I played with early on. Always think of the Kleins. Played my first 3 year with Josh Klein, who I believe is now coaching at Moned, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a really good player. Went on to play at Evangel and had a good career there. And then my senior year, I got to play with his little brother Zach, who, if I'm not mistaken, also scored over 2,000 points in his career. He stepped in as a freshman right away and was very impactful for us at Mount Vernon. And then I actually got to play with him again my senior year at SBU. He came in as a freshman at SBU, and so that was a lot of fun. And he was a great high school player and had a really really good college career as well. And we had a good, my class in particular had a good group. Played with Ethan Trokey, Tyler Willis, Eli Emerson. We had several guys that had several years where, again, we kind of started as a younger group and were able to have some good years in our career in basketball and then football as well. And still have great relationships with those guys. Kellen Cox is another guy that still to this day one of my best friends. Probably a little bit better football player than basketball player, but he was a great teammate. And so really, again, the biggest thing that always stands out to me about my career in Mount Vernon is just the people, and not just my dad, who I got to play for, but some great assistant coaches, and then some great football coaches as well.
Again, we're visiting with the Columbia College head basketball coach Tomas Brock here on the Missouri Milestone Mondays. Over 2,000 points scored, and me being a graduate of Mount Vernon, you still paid attention. You were 15 years after me, but I can remember blue and gold moments. What about the blue and gold tournament stands out to you? I have one in particular where you guys won the blue and gold tournament, and you took the trophy over to the crowd and sang the school song. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. That's one of my favorite high school memories, when we were able to win the blue and gold. Obviously, that was a huge deal for a smaller school to go and beat some really good teams. We ended up beating Ozark in the championship game, and I don't remember exactly when in my career we started singing the alma mater song with the crowd. But we kind of, at some point, that became, anytime we would win a big game like that, we'd go over and kind of celebrate with our student body, and always had a great student body there supporting us. I remember also a similar moment in my senior year, our district championship game. We beat East Newton right at the end, and was able to do the same thing, go over and celebrate with our student body. And so those are definitely some great moments. And then I mentioned Ethan Trokey, but I remember my junior year, Ethan hit a game winner in the quarterfinals at Lebanon against I believe we were playing Lynn, and he had a buzzer beater to send us to the Final Four. And still remember the celebration we had on the court in the locker room after that. So always special to win some of those big games and have those memories with guys.
You've talked about, some of those big games. Are there games, I have those, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, going back, obviously a lot longer ago, but that you'd like to go back and play again, maybe a game that got away from you. And you maybe do this more as a coach, but as a player, are there games that maybe got away from you that you felt like you should have won, or maybe games like that Lynn game in the quarterfinals, you'd like to go back and experience that again? Are there memories like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the most obvious one is when you end your career. We lost in the state sectional. If I remember right, I think we were number one in the state for most of my senior year. We finished 28-2. Our only loss during the regular season was to a really good kickapoo team in the Nixa tournament championship. But I think of in that Spokane game in the sectional, obviously didn't feel like we played our best. We'd beaten Spokane 2 times earlier, and once in the regular season and then once in the blue and gold. They had a really good team. And what's always funny about that game is a guy that I ended up playing with at SBU and became one of my close friends at SBU. He was actually at my wedding. Tristan Steele played for that Spokane team. At the time, we didn't really know each other, obviously didn't really like each other because we were competing against each other. But then, a couple of years later, ended up being roommates at SBU and became really good friends. And there's of course, there's always in sports, whether it's coaching or playing, there's always a few that, you'd like to have back, but that's part of it. And that's what makes when you're able to win and that kind of makes it even more special.
And I would do myself a disservice if we didn't talk a little bit about football. Your high school football career was outstanding. I can remember a game at Bolivar in a state playoff game at Bolivar where you absolutely took control. And I was in the booth at the game, and Coach Cox was calling the game, or he was up on the headset. And I hear him tell Coach Mayberry, you better get him out of there or he's going to run this score up as high as he can put it. I will not forget that. And do you remember that game at Bolivar? There was a lot of talking going back and forth. And, of course, Derek Barnes is right in the middle of it on Sports Talk, a very good friend of both of ours and a very good Christian man. And I know he had some influence in your life. But talk about that contest here. And I know this is basketball, but that memory of you stands out probably more than anything else.
Yeah, it's funny. I obviously had a good basketball career and decided to play college basketball. And that's kind of my first love. I growing up at a gym, as you mentioned, playing, being around my dad. So, and then now coaching basketball, but I have a lot of fond memories from the 4 years of playing high school football. And I probably, more than any basketball game that I can remember, I probably have more people like you mentioned that the Bolivar football game as something that stands out. And we had a really good team my senior year, and Bolivar had a really nice team as well. And so I know it was a big game, but I do remember on the bus ride up there, Coach Henderson, Dan Henderson, our head coach, came over, and it was kind of out of the norm, but I don't know if he was nervous or what, but he asked me, he goes, are you guys, are you ready for tonight? And that was something that he had never asked me in 4 years playing for him. And I just said, yeah, coach, we're good. We're ready. And sure enough, we were, and we played really well and were able to kind of stretch it out there against Bolivar. And then, unfortunately, just like the basketball game that ended our career, we lost a heartbreaker in the quarterfinals to Harrisonville that year, and lost by 1 to them, and they went on to win the state championship. But I had a great group of guys, and and coaches on the football field as well. And so our couldn't ask for more. I think we were 11-1 my senior year of football, and then 28-2 as I mentioned in basketball. And so really, really special year for us.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Brock, it's been an honor to get to visit with you and kind of relive some of those memories for me as a fan, as well as a player, playing for your dad and watching you kind of grow up. But I greatly appreciate you spending a few minutes here with us on Missouri Milestone Mondays.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Hey, you're watching the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank.